This is a live on-the-scene tornado report. I'm Ned Naderson.
Mom, I tore my vampire cape saving the school from flesh-eating trolls. Can you sew it for me?
Void of sound and fury has whipped this town into a frenzy, picking up anything that isn't nailed down. But don't worry about me. Our crack news team is monitoring the situation in the KRAS TV van. And at the first sign of trouble...
Hey, Dad, what's a twister?
You see,
What are they made of? Where do they come from? Where do they go?
a twister is a big whirly pool of wind with a big empty hole at its center.
Whoa.
Some of them are huge. They can suck up refrigerators, cars, sometimes even houses. And because they're made of air, they can come and go in the blink of an eye. They're whirling voids.
A whirling void.
Honey, do you know where my other blue sock disappeared to?
Probably the same place as my sunglasses that disappeared yesterday.
Yeah, looks like we've got our own whirling void in town.
Did you hear that, Fang? A whirling void is in our town. So that explains what happened to my missing monster magazine, your old fleet collar, and the top button from Dad's Hawaiian shirt. It all makes sense now. The whirling void took them. Cool. Hi, Mr. Tuckerfield.
Oh, hello, Bernice.
Bernice? Yahoo!
Good afternoon, ma'am.
My vampire towel! It's disappeared! That clinches it. There is a whirling void in town. No. No. Not here.
Hey, little Miss Fancy Cake. What are you looking for? Invisible ghost ants?
No, she's not.
Are you?
No. Actually, I'm looking for a whirling void.
See? There's no such thing as a whirling void. You just made that up.
For your information, whirling voids are big whirly pools of air. They're invisible and get around by hiding under hats, in pockets, sometimes even in water bottles. They're extremely hard to catch.
Then why are you trying to catch one?
Because one stole my vampire towel. You see, the whirling void got into the pool area by stowing away somewhere, probably in somebody's bag. Then it sucked up my vampire towel and made good its escape by hiding inside a bag of cheese snacks.
That isn't what happened.
Then what did happen to my vampire towel?
Well, it was obviously a cat burglar. He made sure no one was looking, and then he scaled the fence, spotted your towel, snatched it, and left. And that's exactly what happened.
A cat burglar? That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. It was obviously the whirling void.
Cat burglar.
Whirling void!
Cat burglar.
Well, we're going to catch the whirling void and prove it.
No, you're not, because George and I are going to catch the cat burglar first. We are?
I found this at the scene of the crime.
A restaurant menu from the sushi stop?
The Whirling Void must have left it behind.
You think whirling voids eat sushi?
Are you kidding? That's practically all they eat. So, Takaki, you were saying you did have a mysterious disappearance here recently.
Yes, very mysterious. A pair of shoes went missing from the tatami room yesterday.
Missing shoes.
But even more mysterious, another pair of shoes was left behind me.
Men's pair, size 11, hopelessly out of date, and quite muddy. Very interesting. Enter this as evidence.
I don't get it, Mona. Why would the Whirling Void take one pair of shoes and leave another pair behind?
It's quite simple, really. The Whirling Void snuck into the restaurant and decided to sample the sushi. But in sampling the sushi, it mistakenly ate a piece of hot wasabi and coughed up the muddy pair of shoes. Before escaping, it snatched another pair of shoes and disappeared.
Charlie, what kind of petal is that?
This? It's the petal of a Rose Hill cybinium. And only one person in town grows these flowers. Mrs. Brierson.
Boy, we're really making progress. I wonder how Angela and George are doing.
Help! Get me down! Next time I reenact the crime.
So, Mrs. Brierson, you didn't see anyone or anything come through your flower bed?
No, it must have happened while I was at the Salsa Fest. Who do you think's responsible?
Not who, Mrs. Brierson. What? Your flower bed was a victim of the Whirling Void.
Oh, dear. Should I contact an exterminator?
Look, what do we have here?
A beautiful silver-plated pen.
Only one place in town sells beautiful silver-plated pens.
Well, here we are. The beautiful silver-plated pen shop. Excuse me, sir. Do you recognize this pen?
Indeed. It looks just like the pen I sold Mr. Tuckerfield yesterday.
Mr. Tuckerfield?
Without a doubt. He came in here complaining about his too tight shoes. We talked about the Japanese restaurant he'd just lunched at. Then he bought this pen and left.
Too tight shoes? Japanese restaurant? Think back very carefully. Did anything strange happen yesterday while Mr. Tuckerfield was here?
Come to think of it, yes. A customer made a complaint about losing his wallet. Interestingly enough, I actually found a wallet a little later. Guess whose?
Mr. Tuckerfield.
Well? Look, this is getting us nowhere. Hang in there till tomorrow morning and the pool security will get you down. Huh? Uh-oh, busted.
What, may I ask, is going on here?
We're hot on the trail of a cat burglar. He snuck in here this morning and stole a vampire towel right off the premises.
Vampire towel? That's funny. I saw Mr. Tuckerfield walk out of here with a vampire towel this morning.
Mr. Tuckerfield? Mr. Tuckerfield?
Oh! Mr. Tuckerfield was at every crime scene.
And that can only mean one thing. The Whirling Void is traveling with him.
Mr. Tuckerfield, he's the cat burglar.
Huh?
Mona?
Angela!
There he is. Look! Tuckerfield! It's time to make a citizen's arrest. Not so fast, burgle guy.
What? What are you doing? Help!
No.
Police!
Not here. Not here. Not here either. Aha! I've got it. Quick, Mona! Think of something! Charlie looks like he's going to be sick! I have an idea! We can counteract the Whirling Void spinning motion by blowing against it counterclockwise! Start blowing! It's working! Keep blowing!
Tuckerfield! Mr. Tuckerfield! You picked up the wrong glasses when you came by the store this morning. These are your glasses.
Hey, things aren't fuzzy anymore.
Glad to be of service.
Thank you, Mr. Shensky. Hey, these aren't my shoes.
Of course not. You cat burglared them.
Of course he didn't cat burglar them, Angela. Because he had the wrong glasses on, Mr. Tuckerfield has been picking up stuff that isn't his by accident.
No offense, Officer Howcroft, but it sounds kind of far-fetched to me. I'm sticking to my theory. The Whirling Void may be gone, but it will return. Somewhere, someplace.
Whirling Void.
The town. Quiet, calm, a peaceful place where nothing much happens. Or so it would seem on the surface. But I know the truth. The hidden secrets, the shadowy tales, the mounting terror that grips...
Mona? Mona, are you still up?
I'm just finishing up my diary entry, Mom. Like I was saying, I know the secrets this town hides. The unseen tales of terror concealed within its shadows.
Coming! Coming! Hello? No, I do not want to join the Bubblegum of the Month Club. I've been robbed!
Mrs. Bryerson's garden gnome was the first to disappear.
Juliet, I think somebody took our garden gnome.
The next day at the town hall meeting...
Please, we'll get to the gnome crisis. But first, there are a couple of other items on today's agenda we have to deal with. First order of business. The Historical Society has tabled a motion to rename Genghis Khan Memorial Park to Royal Park. All in favor?
Aye!
All against? The motion is passed. Next order of business. For the third time in 3 weeks, an anonymous individual has tabled a motion to rename Cresthaven Street Dracula Drive. All in favor?
Aye!
All against?
Nay!
The motion is defeated. Again. Next order of business. This gnome crisis. Considering the seriousness of the situation, not to mention my impending re-election campaign, I'm setting up a task force to deal with the gnome nappings. Officer Hallcroft will get right on it.
I'm on garden gnome duty? You have got to be kidding!
While the local authorities launched their investigation, I decided to launch my own.
So you think there's more here than meets the eye?
Absolutely. It's time I launched a full investigation as Mona the Vampire Detective. The first step in my investigation was a trip to the library. Aha! That's the book I'm looking for. Local legends and stuff. Here it is.
What's it say?
Long ago, the land upon which this town was built was peopled by gnomes. But they were not the only forest dwellers. For sharing the area with the gnomes was a tiny druid community. As it turned out, neither group thought much of the other. and both laid claim to the forest. Finally, the day came when the gnomes had had enough.
I've had enough! It's time we rid our forest of those annoying druids! Hooray!
But the druids were waiting for them. The druids turned the gnomes into stone and finally had the forest all to themselves. Until 2 years later when they decided to move to a warmer climate, namely Florida. Wow! Let's go!
Officer Halcroft already came by to search for clues.
Maybe he did, but even he doesn't have the keen eye of a vampire detective.
Pardon me?
Aha! Gnome footprints.
Actually, my niece and nephews came by yesterday and they were running around.
Aha! An Alaskan travel brochure. Possibly left behind by a forgetful gnome.
Actually, Hold on, I'm coming! Oh, dear me. Coming!
I don't believe it. How did Officer Halcroft miss this clue?
A macrame owl?
No, Lily, not a macrame owl. An ancient druid mystic symbol. The pieces of the puzzle are falling into place. Obviously, the gnomes have awakened from their ancient curse. They've turned back into flesh and blood. But what are they plotting? How do a travel brochure and that, macrame owl? Ancient druid mystic symbol figure into this diabolical stew?
Where should we look next?
The woods behind the church. Where else would the gnomes hide out? But we're outnumbered, so we'll need the element of surprise. I have an idea. Give me a hand with these old blankets and this can of paint.
That was the perfect place to stash our loot. No one ever comes out here.
Huh?
I'd swear those kids were up to something.
I didn't know what George and his friends were doing there, but they weren't our main target.
Please don't turn us back into stone! Don't hurt us, Mr. Druid!
We don't want to hurt you. In fact, we're not really druids at all. Just kids in incredible disguises.
Huh?
But if you gnomes aren't plotting a nefarious scheme, then what are you up to?
After 5 centuries, the curse that turned us into stone finally wore off last night. We thought we could move back into our old neighborhood, but everything is different now.
So we're moving.
Then what about this travel brochure?
That's where we're moving to, Alaska. Since the Druids headed south, we want to be as far away from them as possible.
Then what about all these garden gnomes?
We're covering our tracks, creating real stone duplicates of ourselves. That way, our owners will be none the wiser and we'll be finally free to go.
Then what about this ancient druid mystic symbol?
That's just a macrame owl.
Oh.
If you don't mind, we really have to hurry up and finish these phony gnomes. We don't want to miss our flight.
It sounds like you guys need help. Have a good flight. Don't forget to write. And don't worry, we'll put these replicas in their rightful place.
Oh! Hold on, I'm coming. Oh, for goodness sake, keep your shirt on, I'm
coming. Oh, these fenders don't fodonio like they used to, but I can fandango with the best of them. Well, sure, skydiving will keep your adrenaline going, keep you young, I think. Bye now. Oh, my.
Juliet, it's back.
And so, the mystery of the missing gnomes was solved. For most.
First order of business. For the fourth time in 4 weeks, an anonymous individual has tabled a motion to rename Cresthaven Street Dracula Drive. All in favor?
Aye.
All against?
Nay!
The motion is defeated. Again. And now, a quick update on the gnome crisis. Some local kids admitted to taking the garden gnomes as a prank. Evidently spooked by something, they returned every one of them before turning themselves in.
Wow. Do you really think we scared George and his friends so badly that they actually admitted to a prank they didn't pull?
Well, there can't be any other explanation. Greetings from Nome, Alaska.